She flirted with the waiter on our anniversary, so I left her with the ring she'd never see, the bill she couldn't pay, and her parents waiting for a proposal that never came. My name is Jake. I'm 32, and I thought I was in love with a woman named Isabella, who's 29. For 3 years, we were together. I gave her everything I had. My time, my support, my patience. I'm not a loud or flashy guy. I don't like big fights or public drama. I've always been the quiet type, the one who believes that real love doesn't need to be loud to be strong. And I thought that was enough. I thought she understood that too. From the beginning, Isabella was the type of woman people noticed. She walked into a room and eyes turned. She had a way of speaking that made everything sound important. And even when she was wrong, she spoke with so much confidence that you started to doubt yourself. I loved that about her at first. I thought it meant she was sure of herself. I didn't realize until later that sometimes confidence can hide something ugly. We had our differences, of course. She liked to be the center of attention. She loved compliments, loved being flirted with, even in front of me. At first, I told myself it was harmless. I'd say, she's just being playful. Or, she chose me. That means something. But over time, it started to feel like I was just another one of her audience members, not her partner. Still, I stayed, because I believed that love was about accepting people, about patience, about seeing the good, even when it's hard. This year, for our 3rd anniversary, I decided I was ready to propose. I bought a ring after saving for months. I talked to her sister about the style she'd like. I even planned a small surprise with her parents. They were supposed to come over later that night to celebrate with us after I popped the question. I booked a fancy restaurant with a view of the water, one of those quiet places with soft lights and a piano in the corner. I wanted it to be special. When we got there, she looked beautiful, like always, but something felt off right from the start. She was distant, laughing too loud, checking her phone, looking around like she was bored. I tried to stay calm, told myself maybe she was just tired or nervous. I tried to keep the mood light. I didn't want to ruin the night I'd worked so hard to plan. But then the waiter came over, a young guy maybe in his mid-20s. He was polite, just doing his job. But Isabella started flirting with him right in front of me, asking his name, commenting on his smile, making jokes about his nice arms. She even winked at him. At first, I thought maybe I misread it. Maybe she was just joking. But then she said it, loud enough for me to hear clearly. I guess I'm just too much woman for you. She said it with a laugh like it was funny. But it wasn't. Not to me. Not after everything. That sentence didn't make me angry. It just made everything clear. It was like all the doubts, all the moments I'd pushed aside, suddenly lined up in a row. And I realized something. She didn't respect me. Maybe she never had. I sat there quietly for a few seconds. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I wanted her to feel the silence. I wanted her to see that this time, there wouldn't be a joke or a smile to cover it up. I reached into my pocket and took out the ring box. I didn't open it. I just placed it on the table. Her eyes went wide. Her smile disappeared. She looked at the box, then back at me. I could see the questions in her eyes. Was I still going to propose? Was this part of some joke? I looked at her and said calmly, "No, Isabella, you're not too much woman. You're just too much drama." Then I got up from the table, picked up my jacket, and walked away. I didn't rush. I didn't make a scene. I didn't yell or slam anything. I just left, quietly, with dignity. I left her sitting there with the ring she'd never see, the bill she'd have to pay, and the realization that this time I was done. By the time I got to the car, my phone was already buzzing. Her sister, her mom, even a couple friends. I didn't pick up. I drove back to our apartment, where her parents were waiting with champagne and balloons. Her dad had a camera ready. Her mom was smiling like a kid on Christmas. I walked in, and their faces lit up. "Is it done? Did she say yes?" Her mom asked, holding her phone to take a picture. I took a deep breath and said, "There's not going to be a proposal tonight." They just stared at me, confused. I didn't explain right away. I just handed her dad the ring box, still closed, and said, "Maybe you should talk to your daughter about what she thinks a relationship means." Then I walked into my room, packed a small bag, and left. I didn't need to argue. I didn't want to explain myself 100 times. I had finally understood that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. I didn't hear from Isabella that night. Not a call, not a text, which was strange because she was always quick to blow up my phone whenever something didn't go her way. But this time, nothing. I think she was too embarrassed. Or maybe she thought I'd cool down, come back with an apology like I had before, as if her words at the table were just another joke I was supposed to swallow. But I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt. I was done. There's a quiet that comes when you finally let go of someone who was never really holding on to you, and that silence, for me, was peace. The next morning, I got a message from her mother. It was short. "Please call me when you can." I didn't. I knew whatever she wanted to say would be some attempt to explain or cover for Isabella. I didn't need that. I didn't want anyone to defend what had been right in front of me for years. I had loved her. I had believed in her. And she had treated me like a joke in a room full of strangers. By the afternoon, the apologies started. Not from her, at least not yet, but from people around her. Her sister texted me first. "She was just nervous," she wrote. "She thought you were acting distant and tried to be funny. She didn't mean it that way." But that's the thing. After a while, jokes stop being jokes. They start becoming truths people are too cowardly to say straight. Isabella didn't slip up that night. She spoke clearly. She meant every word. She thought flirting with someone else on our anniversary was a game. She thought mocking me would make her feel more powerful. But all it did was show me that I'd been trying to build a life with someone who didn't respect me. That evening, she finally called. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Her voice was calm, a little shaky. "Jake, I think we need to talk. I messed up last night. I was trying to be funny and I took it too far. I didn't mean to embarrass you. Please call me." I listened to it twice, and then I deleted it, because I knew if I talked to her, she'd try to twist it, try to laugh it off again, try to cry, try to remind me of our good times. But good memories don't erase repeated disrespect. And what happened that night wasn't a one-time mistake. It was just the loudest example of what had been there all along. 3 days later, she showed up at my friend Mark's place. That's where I'd been staying. I wasn't surprised. She looked different. Not messy or broken, just quiet. The kind of quiet you see in someone who knows they pushed too far. She stood at the door, holding her purse like a shield, and asked if we could talk. I looked at Mark, nodded, and stepped outside. We sat on the porch. She didn't speak right away. Then, finally, she said, "I was cruel. I know that. I was nervous and tried to cover it with stupid humor. I didn't know you were going to propose. I didn't know your parents were there. I feel sick about all of it." Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. I could tell she wanted me to say something that would make it easier. But I didn't. After a moment, I said, "You didn't need to know I was going to propose. You just needed to know that respecting me in public, on our anniversary, should have been automatic." She nodded, tears forming. "You're right," she whispered. "But can we try again?" I shook my head slowly. "Isabella, I don't hate you. I'm not even angry anymore. But I can't build a future with someone who thinks love is a game of who can hurt first." She started to say something else. But I stood up. Not to be rude, but to end it gently. She understood. She looked at me one more time, then walked down the porch steps and didn't look back. That was the last time I saw her. It's been a year since then. I moved to a new city, got a new job, found a place where nobody knew about that night, that woman, that ring. I still have the ring. Not because I'm holding on to her, but because it reminds me that I was ready to love deeply, that I had it in me to commit, to trust, to build something real. And that's not a weakness. That's strength. And one day, I'll find someone who deserves that kind of love. Someone who doesn't laugh in the middle of it. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Just walk away. Not to prove a point. Not to hurt them back. But to protect your peace. to choose yourself. And that's exactly what I did. If you've ever chosen peace over drama, walked away instead of fighting for someone who didn't respect you, hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful stories just like this one.